Good afternoon. Yeah,
Yes,
I like
it's
that.
afternoon.
Fun. Happy Friday. I'm pointing with a knife. That's
Yeah.
always safe.
Don't walk over here.
Thank you for joining us. It's a beautiful Friday. So after this, you got to get out. You got to get going.
She's
I
still
know I
pointing
really
with the
am.
knife.
I'm like, that's the Italian. Hey, all sorts of Italian there. But we are so excited to bring this to you. This is a roasted root vegetable soup. Guys, this is lovely. You need to do this. You need to incorporate this into your life. You can make this in bulk. You can do this for the week. We doctored this recipe up a bit, so be a little bit prepared for that. But Ange, take it away. I'm gonna cut.
Yes. Okay, so we have Danielle over here cutting the butternut squash and a sweet potato. I'm going to chop a white onion, a sweet onion, and a carrot. We also use olive oil, vegetable broth, salt and pepper in this recipe, and that is it. So while she's dicing those, I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about root vegetables. So they, just like the name, they come from the ground, right from a root. They are pretty difficult to chop.
Yes. This is a workout.
Yeah. Now, butternut squash actually is not a root vegetable. It is a fruit, actually, if you can believe that.
That's crazy.
I know. The carrots, the onions, and the sweet potato are all root vegetables. And most of the ingredients in this recipe are orange.
Dude, I mean, I'm gonna burn 10 calories.
I know.
For each slice. Go
I
ahead.
know. I mean, when you like a butternut squash, you have to have a really good knife to cut through that
Yes.
thing. Our knives are not the best.
No.
Well, we should hopefully invest.
For
sooner
real,
or later.
whose knives are great enough.
That's true. I mean,
They do the job, it just takes a little bit extra.
it does. It does.
Okay.
And then you have to peel it. So you get a peeler. This also is not the best vegetable peeler that is out there. But you want to peel the butternut squash. You want to peel the sweet potato, and you also want to peel the carrot. So we're going to dice these, and then you're going to set your stove or your oven to 400 degrees. And once you have all of your vegetables chopped, you're going to add them to a bowl or straight onto the pan.
I mean, I can do it, I'm sorry. That's right. No, it's better because you didn't teach me this, and like if you want to get your salt, pepper, oil all mixed really well together, you got to put it in a bowl. Yes, it's a little bit more extra cleaning, but it's worth it. Yeah, sorry, I think I might have cut this pretty thick.
We're gonna throw it in
I
there
know.
anyway. Okay, so one thing that most of these vegetables have in common is their color. So they're orange, which means that they contain beta carotene, which is an antioxidant phytonutrient that converts to vitamin A into our body. So it helps with eye health, it helps with immune function, it can prevent certain diseases. So you do want to incorporate all colorful fruits and vegetables into your diet. That's why we say eat the rainbow, because each different color has a different phytonutrient and different, sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna move us closer so you can maybe hear us better, or I'll just yell.
Yeah.
We are working on the audio and our production. We are going to be getting another camera system, hopefully better mics and things like that. So it's in the works. Thank you for bearing with us until we get there. Okay, so what you do once you have all the chopped vegetables and fruit, you add salt and pepper and olive oil. The way we doctored this up was adding some fresh garlic and some cinnamon.
Yes, the cinnamon changes the game. You
Yes.
definitely need to add that cinnamon. You'll really love it. I'm actually going to do it in like another little round on it. Then I'm going to show you.
Once you have the vegetables all chopped, sorry, I'm behind the blender.
There you go. Look at that. Very pretty, easy. And again, like I just said to Ann, I said, oh my gosh, like I didn't cut these very well. Doesn't matter. You're going to throw them in and then you're going to blend them up anyways.
Yep. So once you actually have all your vegetables chopped, you're going to throw it in that oven once it's preheated to 400. You do want to cook it for about 40-50 minutes to get it soft enough so that it is able to be blended. Now, We're gonna throw that in. Our oven heats up to 600 degrees. It rotates, so our cooking time is a lot less. So once you have your cooked vegetables, so about 40, 50 minutes, you're going to use a food processor. You may have to do it in sections or different quantities. You're gonna throw, we're using our Vitamix because it's just a larger quantity. You can throw that in there.
This is gonna take forever. Hold on. Let me see if I can- Yeah, hot.
Might lose a few.
Oh, not bad.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, you're all good. All right, so once all of your vegetables are added to your Vitamix or the food processor, you're going to use vegetable broth. If you're trying to watch your sodium content, choose a low sodium, no added salt broth. You're going to add, the recipe calls for 5 cups. This is a 32 ounce, so it's only 4 cups, so we're just gonna add it all in. So if you have a food processor, something smaller, obviously, than a Vitamix, you're going to, like I said, need to do it in batches. What you could also do is warm the broth ahead of time. So you could have this already in a stovetop warmed up and add the warm broth right to the vegetables. And then once you have it blended up, it's ready to eat. Okay, so this recipe is super simple, but I feel like the most time consuming part is going to be the chopping, the, what's the word?
Baking, peeling.
Thankful for my assistant,
You're
my
all good.
sous chef.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got promoted.
So this is gonna be the consistency. It's a nice, thick, creamy base. And what's really nice about this, it does not use any heavy whipping cream, any milk, any dairy products. So it's literally just vegetables, vegetable broth, and a little bit of olive oil. We doctored it up, like we said, with some cinnamon, which really made the recipe.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like it was, I mean, to be honest, this recipe as is a little bit bland.
Yeah, I would say so.
So we added the garlic and the cinnamon because we're not trying to like dump a ton of salt into it, but we did add a little bit more of that.
Absolutely.
And it really just brought the flavors to take. So a couple things here. This is a very easy recipe to find the ingredients pretty much anywhere you shop. I would just caution you on what a butternut squash can cost. Those were pretty big ones that we use today.
Huge.
But you know, this makes a lot. This could be several lunches or dinners. This is a great food prep recipe that you could do ahead maybe on a Sunday, have it ready to go for the week. And again, and just what Angela was saying about all the different sources of vitamins, like you're getting a lot. I would pair it with a grilled cheese.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, and we're getting into that comfort food time of year. I mean, I know it's supposed to be like 80 degrees today, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry. Also, the recipe is, like I mentioned, a little bit thick. Depending on how you're going to blend it up, you could add a little bit more water or broth to it, depending on what type of consistency you want. Now, if you're struggling with chewing or swallowing with treatment, this is an excellent recipe. You're getting tons of fiber. You're getting adequate calories. It is, if you're trying to watch your weight, actually, it's relatively low
yes.
in calories.
Yes.
And the thing is, too, though, it's not very high in protein.
Right. Yeah.
So that is something you're lacking in this recipe, which you could, if you're trying to boost up your protein due to treatment or, you know, wound healing, whatever it is, you could add a protein powder or a liquid type of protein supplement to this that's unflavored,
Okay.
and then really boost up the nutrition there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So there is many benefits to this recipe. We're hoping to get into more of the fall recipes here soon. Like you said, it's 80 degrees. No one really wants to eat soup. But we will get there. Next week, we are doing a snack recipe. We are making anytime bars. So just like in the name, you can eat them anytime. They are high calorie, high protein, high fiber. A lot of our patients were looking for snack ideas. I feel like that tends to be a little bit difficult.
Right.
Just coming up with nutrient dense snack ideas. And as a dietitian, oncology dietitian, we do recommend a lot of small but frequent eating. So those nutrient dense snacks are very convenient and actually beneficial to patients who can't really finish a whole meal.
Right.
So final thing to the recipe that we're making today, once you have all your vegetables, the broth blended up, and you didn't warm up the broth initially, you can add it to a saucepan, warm it up, add a little bit more broth depending on the consistency you want, and that's it.
That's it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Add probably more cinnamon. Really quick on your bars. I think it's just important to note there's a lot of brands out there with that are protein,
Good
and
point.
so Angela's going to talk a little bit about that labeling too. If you're not into making these bars, so she's going to just bring a little bit more of information on what to avoid, what not to avoid, because you can easily get into like a 500-600 calorie protein bar and not necessarily and have a lot of additives
Yes.
that aren't really necessary. So stay tuned. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. I have a feeling that you're going to want to make these bars at home, and I think you could probably make them in bulk.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Another thing you could store, freeze,
Yeah.
have all week, just like the soup.
absolutely. So, all right, Hillman Cancer Center, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.